It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like
forward.
a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Idelin Akimana. I'm from Burundi. I do modeling as profession and identify myself as a queer woman, as a female of gender non-fluidity.
Sima for short. I'm an actor, writer, everything artistic, and an entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Mohammed. I am 26 years old. I identify as a gay male. I am a creative of sorts. I dabble in the art of drag and club kid drag.
Hello, my name is Tajme Pillay. I am an actor and performance artist. I identify as a queer male and, a club kid.
My name is Chester Martinez. I am a queer male I'm 22 years old. I'm a performance artist and model and completely gender fluid, yeah.
I think queerness can only exist in relation to a dominant norm. Because if there is nothing like in dominance, or if there isn't something that's setting up conventions of like, this is what is normal, then the queer can't exist because by nature, queerness is subversive.
Absolutely.
It disrupts like something that is a dominant discourse. So in a sense, it works in tandem. You need the dominant discourse in order for this to exist.
They've ostracized queerness from society, from like general society, like your everyday life. Queerness has been ostracized from that space, and it kind of like exists on the fringe, like outside of the norm. You know, I hate the term normal because it's relative, you know what I mean? Like my normal is not your normal, but there is such a thing as like being normal. You know what I mean?
I think as queer people of color, there's the added burden of not only wanting, as a child to live up to your parents' expectations around your gender identity and sexuality, but also your sort of social standing.
Your cultural codes.
Your cultural codes. And because of white dominance in everything, I think that mix of things really makes it difficult, and I sympathize with any person who identifies as LGBTIQ and who is young.
Communities of color, especially just from my experience, if you're anything other than straight, you're a morphe, and that is such a derogatory trigger term.
It's cutting.
You just don't want to be that. The moment you've seen it, you've heard it.
It's an insult, actually.
Yeah, and you don't want to be anything associated with that word.
And with morphe, I feel, comes a whole long list of basically a life path. A list of this is all you can be.
Because I think it's a word, let's say you are a child who's just really clumsy, for example, and not able to do things that the rest of them can do. And your family will just be like, you're just a lazy, the word morphe,
They just instantly box you in.
The whole word is just...
So the struggle is finding employment as a transgender person. Do you go there as your biological being, or do you go there as yourself? I had to do this once. I had to go to an interview. And this was my first job interview, actually, yeah. And everybody around me, my sisters, my mother, they're like, no, you need to dress like this. You need to look like a girl. I was so uncomfortable. That interview was terrible, the worst thing ever.
Yeah, because you were like...
I'm trying to, being prim and proper. Then I had the second time around, I went to a different interview. This is after I came out and stuff. And I was in my usual regalia.
Yes.
And it is, oh man, the confidence, man, when you're able to, when you're
comfortable, when you can sit as you and just be.
So I lived a bit of a contradictory life, if I can call it that. Like I said, I come from a Muslim home, but we had quite a bit of upward mobility in terms of moving from what is now very dangerous colored area to basically a white area. So as a child, having to deal with all of that, going literally from a classroom where everyone's the same skin color as you, to going to a classroom where you are the other now. And then having to deal with the way that the whole family dynamic changed around that as well.
Me also coming from quite a conservative, it was just removed. I'm not from the city, I come from, my mom's side of the family is from a place called Mamre, which is just outside Atlantis, which is also quite a massive colored community, and then Mamre is like a little farm spin-off of that. And then Saldanha is a coastal town all the way down the west coast, and that's where my dad's family is from. So I grew up between these two families where they still existing in an entirely, till today. There's people who were born there, will never leave there, and that's where they live their entire life, you know what I mean? So there's no getting out of them that binary mentality of this is a man's place, this is a woman's place. And then being born into that, just being other from the get-go, before there's any sense of self-identification, just being quite a soft boy, not knowing what gay is because it didn't exist around me, no one can educate me, no one could tell me that that's a thing. And my first engagement with it is that hearing my dad say, oh, it's bad. So you don't want to be bad, you know what I mean? Because I was so soft and so sensitive, I wanted to keep people happy. I wanted to, please my mom, please my dad, please everybody, and just be, the best child I could be, Because I had quite a dark, tough childhood with my dad being an alcoholic and my mom suffering from mental illness her entire life.
They have to live two existences sometimes.
Hallelujah.
But
two Facebook pages.
No, but two Facebook pages. This is the truth. You have to live two existences because I dealt with this recently. I put up a photo from Halloween as my WhatsApp profile picture, and I instantly get a message from my mother being like, remove this picture or your grandmother is going to die.
I've been blocked by family members.
I'm like, why would I do that? My existence, my identity is not offending anyone. Then my gran calls me, she's like, you really need to stop wearing ladies' clothes. It's a bit of a situation. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But me and 2 days ago, I try, guys. I have tried so hard to find a way to mesh the two worlds together comfortably.
You can. Do you know how?
No, my mother still expects grandbabies.
Woo! Yeah!
I'm like, mother, that's not gonna happen.
I'm dealing with Indians. The Indians are hectic.
I'm dealing with Burundi, small country in Central East Africa, right?
Yeah.
They don't know anything, they don't even speak English, okay? Let's just say. And I come here, so then I see women, I'm like, why am I getting butterflies? I like women. Cool. And then I decide, okay, I don't add my mother on Facebook, but then she managed to always create a new account. And then eventually I decide to have two Facebook pages. And then some of my family members, I put them on that one, and then the other one's on there. So there I'm normal, and then I'm just normal, the usual expectation. Then eventually in 2014, I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna be me. Why am I pleasing them? So I'm like, if you don't like it, then don't follow me. Don't come and look for what you don't want to see.
I think I'm at that point now because I'm like,
That's what I did.
I can't pretend like this is okay with me because I'm all about living myself and my
You are perpetuating their ignorance, and you have a responsibility to educate, and our education starts within our family. That is our immediate situation. That is the situation we've been given to come into this world.
Guys, live your politics. Live your politics.
Do you ever visit them with Dragon?
So what happened was, where my life really changed in the last few years is being in South Africa, we don't really have many platforms. So my main art form is movement, it's dance. And we don't have many platforms that really, you can't really go anywhere as a dancer. There's nothing for you to aspire to. So I got caught in the trap of being a dance teacher. So I was a dance teacher and I was slowly dying because I was teaching ungrateful kids, of privileged kids who didn't really want to learn, and this is my essence. This is what you know.
Wake up in the morning and all
and
you
I
want
want
to
to just
dance.
move, and Billy Elliot. Yes, I'm fully a Billy Elliot. And these kids were just taking my art for granted, and it was just tarnishing my soul. So I sit and I pray and I ask Source. I ask the universe. I'm like, listen here. You know what I'm destined for. I'm here to do much more than just teach in a little dance studio in Durbanville. Give it to me. So what happens is, a couple of months later, my mom commits suicide. So I lose my mom, and like my mom was the one person in my entire life who saw my complete development on all levels and supported me completely through the struggles, like, you know, through the, like, you know, challenging each other and fighting each other and having to like earn that acceptance. Even though like from her core she supported and loved me, you know, unconditionally. But still she also had to uncondition herself first before she could like fully support me, you know. So losing that person was like, it felt like my entire life just.
But now you owe it to her too.
So now I'm living for the both of us. I'm living for her, and I call her my wings. Like when I think of my mom and connect with my mom, it feels like I have wings. And that Christmas, December 2015, I started going to family events, completely androgynous in heels. I'd wear her clothes. That Christmas I went to Christmas, I had this on, and a skin-tight
And
leather
free the
pants
nipples too?
and stilettos.
Free the nipples as well.
Yes, free the nipples.
I need
Like
to learn
with
that.
with my grandparents. Like my grandfather who used to whip. He still has a some book. Like if you fucked up, if you broke a window, you were coming to the house and he was hitting you with a whip. Like he was getting you on the legs. He was getting you.
The reaction, what was that?
When you walked in there.
Yeah.
It was just very like, you know, like clenching the
Was it
jaws.
Christmas?
No, I want the tea. I want the
I want to
gram.
see the video.
Babe, like my uncles, like everybody, all these this misogynistic men who believe like there's a place for their wives, there's a place for their daughters.
Yes.
And I said, I'm here for Chester and Alicia. You have us both at Christmas. You are welcome. What are you gonna do about it?
I think I came out when I was 21, I'm 30 now. I lost friends. Like people I genuinely thought were my friends.
Yeah.
I, came out to them and they were like, no. They stopped talking to me. That was like the saddest thing, bro.
Because, you know, like what is this reality of like my being like queer or gay or lesbian is difficult for you? Like, how is my reality?
Why is it okay for me? If you are straight, why is it okay for me?
I must just accept that like
Guys, I'm gonna say it again. Patriarchy. It is literally, it's the cause of
it's
everything.
rampant.
So-
It's like a disease.
I mean, touching on those realities, it's so sad, but it's so real that as LGBTIQ people, you need to educate, and that
Yes.
is just unfortunately something that comes with being who you are. You actually have to educate your family and your friends, and you risk losing some of them because they are wrapped up in the dynamics of the world that's been created for them.
Yeah.
My dream is to see a world in which all queer people can live without fear of walking down the street and, having something as small as a slur thrown towards them or even being beaten and killed.
My dream is to see a world liberated with each other, a world where people can exist without systems of thought schooling how they exist. My dream is to see the utopia that I think of every night just come to fruition.
My dream is, let's say, to just see Africa itself recognize that queer people exist, that gay people exist, to see Uganda not persecute people, to see Burundi allow their kids to be who they are, and just to see us unite as one and just parents not to really judge us, let children be themselves.
My dream is to see humanity as a whole learn to just truly exercise non-judgment on all levels so that we can all just come into this world and exist and live our truth.
My dream is for you to be you and to live your dream.
Yes!
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.
Yeah, a club kid.
My name is Chester Martinez. I am a queer male of, I'm 22 years old. I'm a performance artist and model and completely gender fluid, yeah.
I think queerness can only exist in relation to a dominant norm. Because if there is nothing like in dominance, or if there isn't something that's setting up conventions of like, this is what is normal, then the queer can't exist because by nature, queerness.
It's relative, you know what I mean? Like my normal is not your normal, but there is such a thing as like being normal. You know what I mean?
I think as queer people of color, there's the added burden of not only wanting, you know, as a child to live up to your parents' expectations around your gender identity and sexuality, but also your sort of social standing.
Your cultural codes.
Your cultural codes. And, you know, because of...
It is subversive.
Absolutely.
It disrupts like something that is a dominant discourse. So in a sense, it works in tandem. You need the dominant discourse in order for this to exist.
They've ostracized queerness from society, from like general society, like your everyday life. Like queerness has been ostracized from that space, and it kind of like exists on the fringe, like outside of the norm. You know, I hate the term normal because like
It was a can.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like
forward.
a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have sex
Corrupt
and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Idelin Akimana. I'm from Burundi. I do modeling as profession and identify myself as a queer woman, as a female of gender non-fluidity.
Sima for short. I'm an actor, writer, everything artistic, and an entrepreneur.
Hi, my name is Mohammed. I am 26 years old. I identify as a gay male. I am a creative of sorts. I dabble in the art of drag and club kid drag.
Hello, my name is Tajme Pillay. I am an actor and performance artist. I identify as a queer male and